Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Everybody is here so far. Thanks very much for coming down today. We are ROLI, and we are a company from London that is dedicated to enhancing the interaction between humans and technology. We started our journey a couple of years ago with the Seaboard Grand, which has been dubbed the future of the piano keyboard. And it's basically introducing new types of instruments which expands the possibilities of expression for musicians and creators, producers, arrangers, and performers. This week we announced the Seaboard RISE, which is the world's first truly accessible, expressive MIDI controller, which opens a whole number of new gestures to make your job as a producer or a writer or a composer easier, better, and faster, using an intuitive playing surface and a whole lot more technology. I'm going to introduce you now to Hinwa Wai and Gerald Peter, which are two of our ROLI demonstrators and product specialists, and they're going to talk you through just why this is the must-have tool for contemporary music makers the world over. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay, so the Seaboard RISE is a multi-dimensional MIDI controller. What I mean by multi-dimensional is you can use 3 axes of gesture to control the sound and modulate, adding sound effects to your sounds. So, for example, very firstly, you can hit a note and drag it left or right. So by dragging the note left or right, you can do pitch bend, and also you can map it to different parameters. Second axis of control, along each keys, basically. So you can move up and down. And the third axis of control is the pressure. So by applying pressure to every note you play, you can modulate the sound as well. Thank you. So normally, if you're used to using traditional keyboard, MIDI controllers, synthesizers, you see a bunch of knobs, faders, wheels, whatever, like that you have to mess around. Basically, the purpose is to give the player more expressivity as they play, because the actual keyboard interface itself is quite limiting. Like as a piano player, as you probably know, you hit a note and that's the end of your journey. Like you can't bend the notes without sacrificing a hand to move some faders or pitch wheel or mod wheels. So here we have integrated all of the expressions you need into one continuous pressure sensitive surface. So you can do all your modulations as you play. So you can modulate the sounds in a much more musical way. So before you get too bored, we're going to play some music. So we want to hear the backing track, is this? It's fine, we can hear them. So pay attention to how we interact with the surface, how we bend the notes or push the notes or press the notes, and then try and figure out what we're doing. So thank you. So hopefully you would have understood a little bit about what we were doing earlier. So, and just to quickly explain, on the left-hand side of the Seaboard RISE, there's a user control panel for preset switching. And most importantly, there are 3 core faders that's like key to our playing. So these faders basically controls the sensitivity of each axis that you have access to. For example, the first one on the left one is you can control the sensitivity of pitch rounding. So, for example, if you close the fader, then it behaves like a piano with no pitch bend. So there's no pitch bend, it's all chromatic. And for sounds like, for certain sounds, you might want to close the pitch bend. But for sounds like this one, so sometimes you just want full pitch bend, so you can go, you have the full expressivity range. Secondly, the fader in the middle is for controlling the vertical axes as you go up and down. So sometimes you want to limit that, or sometimes you want it full. And thirdly, of course, that's the pressure. So again, if you open it, that means you only need a little bit of pressure to reach maximum. And if you close it, then it becomes much wider, the range. And then, of course, there's the familiar XY pad that you find on most other controllers, octave shift, and a kind of power button. And actually, if you can see the screen, that's a software called Equator. It comes in VST AU standalone. And it works with most of your DAWs, Logic, Cubase, Ableton Live, blah. And the great thing about Equator is, as you play or as you're designing your sounds, you're able to see each axis being controlled on the graph there. For example, if it's changing the pressure of a note, you can see the pressure going up and down, and it's so Equator is basically a kind of subtractive synth-based synthesizer, and you can create some interesting multi-layered sounds very easily. I won't go too in depth into Equator right now, but so I guess we'll play you another track. So again, hopefully you've managed to see a bit of our gestural control bass controller. And if you have any questions or inquiries, feel free to pop by our booth. We're just over there again. And thanks for your attention. This is the end of our demo. Thanks.